Hi, I'm Linda Stein with Summer Drama Camp, and welcome back to Lesson 2 of My Child Wants to Be an Actor, What Do I Do? So one of the first things that we have to get into a little bit is your first marketing tool, which is a headshot. And I have a headshot right here, an 8x10 picture printed on cardstock, and your name is put on the headshot somewhere on the front in very easy to read fonts. A lot of people want to go to their friends or a cousin or a relative or even dad to shoot those headshots. And really, in the first days of doing this, get yourself a good commercial photographer. You want to make sure that the pictures on the website are of children in your child's age group so that you know this person has experience working with kids. He might have one or two, he or she, or he might not have any. And if they don't have any, then I wouldn't use them as a commercial headshot photographer. Or if they come highly recommended, give them a call and ask them if you can see some of the pictures and samples of their kids' headshots. Also, what you will see on the website is 2 looks, 3 looks, 5 looks, all different kinds of things and price points for them. I promise you, when that headshot photographer talks to you, there may be some other terms or suggestions that they may offer. One is, well, if you go for another $50 or $100, you can blah, 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 blah. Let me talk about the blah, blah, blah. The blah, blah, blah is an upsell to get 3 looks for a little bit more money, and or 4 looks or 5 looks. Okay, so what does the photographer offer in that $99 to $400 range? Well, they usually offer suggestions on what clothes to wear. They offer, sometimes they'll include a makeup artist. Sometimes that's an extra $150 or so. They will include a couple finished photographs that are touched up and ready to be printed. They will not offer the printing for you. So if you don't get your headshot printed in a photography studio, where do you go? Good question. There are a lot of places where companies will print 8x10 headshots for you. They will do it, and they would love to do it for you. But you really want to go to somebody who is specializing in actors' headshots. Now here's Linda's gold nugget tip. I send my headshots out to Los Angeles, and they do it for a reasonable price because that is a saturated market out there. When you get your headshots printed, you can go local, but make sure you don't go to a advertising printing company. Go to someone who specializes in actors' headshots, or get online and see if you can get some headshot photo reproductions out of another area like Los Angeles. And that's my thing about headshots. Did we talk a little bit about what kind of clothes to wear? Well, you see what I have on right now. I have this shirt that's kind of a neutral pink that is one of my better colors. And behind me, you see the blue background. I experimented with backgrounds. And some backgrounds look better and some backgrounds don't look great. But my point for talking about the color behind me and the color on me is that color is a real important thing when you choose clothes for your kid's headshot. And you want to stay away from shirts that have logos on them. Even that little tiny logo on the side. Nothing. A neutral color, neutral shirts, and colors that really make your child's eyes and coloring and hair pop. Sleeveless tops for little girls, as cute and innocent as they are not necessarily the best choice. You want to choose tops, and I'm going to show you here, that have a little sleeve on it. The sleeve, as you can see, covers up my shoulder. It's best to have a top with a sleeve, even for the boys. The sleeveless stuff, yes, muscle shirts are great and all that kind of stuff, but it's not recommended. Long sleeves or short sleeves. A complete logo-less shirt in a color that looks good on your child. It can be an open collar button-down shirt for the boys. It can be layers, which is always recommended. Notice I have the jacket on over my shirt. It can be casual. It can be dressy, but it should be solid. Stay away from black, stay way away from white, and you know those great neon colors? I mean, I love to wear them when I'm exercising because they make people aware that you're out running and it keeps you safe. Stay away from neon colors. Most photographers prefer that you don't have a makeup artist for your children because the children have a natural coloring that is perfect for pictures. No fancy lights, no fancy makeup, just the right clothes and a nice haircut, especially for the boys. Now, little girls sometimes tend to have hair issues, as we all do, and ladies, you know that, where it requires a little bit more time and energy. And if you cannot do your daughter's hair successfully for pictures, then you might want to bring in a makeup artist because they can help you out with that. Rather than insist that you bring in your own hairdresser, bring in a makeup artist. The photographer usually has someone who knows exactly what to do and how to make your little girl's hair look perfect. Now let's talk about little girl hair. You want your hair, your daughter's hair, to have kind of a natural look to it because when they go to the casting, they want natural. Now, natural doesn't mean she was just running outside riding her bike and coming in all sweaty. Natural means that ready to go to school type look for your child, because most of the commercials are about families and kids having fun, and so we just want natural hair. So do you get a makeup artist or don't you? Good question. The answer is in what your child's needs are and what you know your little girl or little boy needs. The photographer will tell you no, but you as a parent have to make a decision whether you want that person there with the extra input or not. Now, as the girls get older, they like to wear more makeup, especially when they're 11 and 12. Now, those little 11, 12-year-old faces often get cast as younger children. Even though those kids don't like it, they do get cast as younger children because they need that maturity to be on set. So those older girls aren't necessarily going to wear more makeup. In fact, even the high schoolers from time to time won't wear a lot of makeup in their headshot sessions. So it's good to have that makeup artist if you have to fight with your child about those pictures. And some girls, they get past a certain age and they don't want to listen to anyone but someone on the outside. And if that's the case, bring a makeup artist in. Shoot, yeah, it'll work. Now, what is the cost? Well, the cost I mentioned a little bit earlier. $125, $150, might be a little more, might be a little less, but allow the photographer to hire that makeup artist. It's a special person who understands commercial photography and knows exactly how to take your child's picture and make them look good. That's all I have on makeup. What do I do, and how do I write a resume if my child has no experience? Good question. I wouldn't know myself, but I will tell you this, that the resume is really just so that myself, like a casting person or an agent, can find out what your child's done or what they can do so they can rightly place them in the auditions. That means that maybe you don't need all those professional credits on your resume, but you do need to let them know the special skills your child has and the training that they're getting and just a little bit of what they've done. I would put my child's name at the top of the resume, their age, their height, their weight, their sizes, like their dress size for the girls and a shirt and pants size for the boys, and then a shoe size. I would put your email address and your name. That's the beginning of a resume. If you want to put your phone number, go ahead and do it. Now, if you have an agent, you would also put your agency logo on the resume and their phone number. Some agents prefer that you don't put your contact information in, but most of the time you can sneak it in there because the casting people like to be able to contact you pretty quickly, and they pick up that resume, flip it over to see if it's there. So I would leave it there. Now, what else do you put on a resume if your child hasn't done anything? And resumes are all about experience, aren't they? Well, you put training. Training. What is that? Commercial acting class that we talked about earlier. You can put dance class. You can put soccer classes if they're getting private lesson, or piano lessons, or singing lessons, or whatever other skills that they're doing, just so they know that your child's kind of arts related and they like this stuff. Also, I would put under an area called special skills all of the skills your child's pretty darn good at or loves. Now, let's say they are great at soccer, or they're a medium soccer player, but they love it. Put it on the special skills area. If they ride their bike really well and they enjoy it, put it on the special skills area. If they're good swimmers, and I'm not talking about the one that sits on the side and kicks their feet and they need little floaties. I'm talking about these kids that can swim without floaties. Put it on there. You want to put some skills that your child can do and they're comfortable doing and they like doing, because maybe they'll need someone who can swim or play soccer or play football for a shoot. And that might just be your foot in the door to get your first commercial acting job. So check out the special skills. Now, what do we do with the resume after we put it together? Well, some people will print it directly to the back of their headshot. That's one way to do it. My suggestion is to put your resume in a file in your computer, print it out, trim it down to fit the 8x10, and either staple it at the four corners or use a glue stick to attach it to the back of the headshot. Resumes aren't that tricky, but you do have to keep them up to date. So if your child grows a little bit, you got to put those sizes on there. Just like a headshot, you're going to have to change it every year. Your resume, you're going to change as your child gets experience, and you can drop and add different things. How in the world do I get an agent? It just seems so big and vast, and I'm just not sure. And I look at their websites and it just seems kind of scary. Well, it isn't scary, but there is a process. Now, agents are like people. They are business people, and they don't make money unless they have the right tools. Fortunately, you have to provide those tools, which includes the headshot and the resume. So as we go back to that need for that professional headshot, let me just say, you cannot send a school picture. A school picture will not get you an agent. And Uncle Mike's headshots that he did for your child back when they were little will not get you an agent. But what will get you an agent is a professional headshot. What do you do with that headshot? Well, on the agency websites, they have pieces of information to tell you how to submit. It's very simple. It's a contact us form. It says, I'm submitting my child. We are brand new. You can put that. We're brand new. My child loves acting. We want to do this. We're trying it. We're taking class at this place. Here's their headshot. Here's their resume. I recognize they don't have experience. We are a work in progress. We can't wait to meet you. If you send a headshot submission over to them and they have time to look at it, because sometimes they get pretty busy, you just might get yourself an agent. Another way to find an agent is to take a commercial acting class or an acting class that includes as part of its session on the last day a showcase where agents and casting people show up. During that time, they may ask you for your headshot and resume, and if you don't have it, that's okay. The important part is they've seen your child perform and you've made that initial contact. And that's how you get an agent. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your time and how your time is going to be affected as you get down the road with your child. Because once you get that headshot done and you get your marketing tools out there, the next stage of this can get pretty involved and pretty tricky. And it involves you being able to leave your job, leave your kids behind, even sick kids, and allow your child to go work on set. Now, they're not going to be good with you dropping them off and picking them up like you do at school. That's not how it works. You are on set with your child for every second that they're there, from the early part of the morning all the way to the afternoon. You can't slip out to get candy or food or anything like that. You have to be on set with them. So you have to decide whether you have that kind of schedule. Now, if you have a lot of other children at home, especially little tiny ones, if you have older children that are demanding, if you have other activities woven into your other kids' lives that require you driving them here and there, you may not be ready to have your child in a professional setting. I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying you really have to assess whether you have the time to release yourself from the current responsibilities that you have at home or even on your job, and find out if you're flexible enough to be able to leave for that callback that comes at the worst time, or the shoot that happens right before grandma's 85th birthday or 25th anniversary of somebody, or any of those family events. You have to be able and willing to drop everything and go for the entertainment business. And there's no leaving that and wiggle room with that. That's pretty much the way it works. So make sure that as you're making these choices, you know if your schedule's available and if you have a legal guardian that can be on set with your kids. I hope that helps you make the decision for you and your husband and your family as to whether or not you can get your child involved in the entertainment industry at a young age. Wow, what a journey we've had. And we've learned so much. We've learned about headshots. We've learned about photographers. We've learned about agents. We have learned about whether or not we should be a part of the arts and how we can be a part of that entertainment community. We have learned about showbiz. And I'm so excited that I got to be the person that shared that with you. Now what I'd like you to do is to hang out for lesson 3 so you can learn about castings and how agents contact casting directors and how that self-taping works, which is the new way to audition, and what it's like to go to an audition. And then finally, a little bit of set etiquette. If you get the job, then what happens? And how do you live and be on the set with all these big professionals? That's coming in lesson 3. So I look forward to seeing you on My Kid Wants to Be an Actor. What do I do? I'm Linda Stein with Summer Drama Camp, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.